The love economy. So the question is, what's your love score? Think of the emotional bank that we all draw from every day. And love is the balance in that bank account. Would your balance be high or would your balance be low? Would you feel love wealthy or would you feel you need some love right now? For me, 20 years ago when I got into a relationship, I asked some of the questions that I believe every one of us here has asked, which is, what do we do when we run out of love? Can we get more love when we're in a pinch? I mean, we're madly in love now, but can we sustain it and grow it and manage it? We were young and inexperienced, both in our 20s, and we knew we had to do something different. We had to find a way to understand and manage the love in our relationship. At the time, my day job was one where I worked with individuals and families to design portfolios and to manage their money and their income. And I thought to myself, what if we tried to manage love the same way? Where we could grow it and we could have a score to see how well we're doing. So the love economy is comparable to a system where we use money as the currency. Think about it. Like a real economy, it would mean it's a series of interrelated production, consumption, and exchanges of love all around us. That's like we could give love, we could take love, we could loan love. And the more I thought about it, the more these questions came to me that you see on the screen. Can we loan love? When I'm in a pinch, can I borrow love? Can we be love bankrupt or be love broke? That wouldn't be nice. Can we have a love surplus? Or can we give some love capital to start a new love relationship? The love economy is everywhere. According to Berlitz, which is a language company, and Duolingo, the app that we all know, the three little words, I love you, are the most translated words all around the planet. Wherever you are part of this system. We have love songs. Any Swifties out there? We stream K-drama. We watch movies that project love on the big screen like the Titanic, that make us all want to fly away. The love economy is that unseen system of belonging and acceptance all around us. But let's take it one step further. We're all part of this love economy. You and me. We're givers, we're takers. We use love, we leverage love. And I wrote here from love, likes on social media, to hugs and compliments in real life. Every day, we all contribute to the economy. It could be quality time with a friend or a coworker. And this is how I think about it, and I want you to consider it too. When you're in a pinch, you could be a borrower of love with a promise, like Ravi said, to repay it and repay the favor someday in the future. We can be love lenders, the people who bring love and pay it forward in everyday transactions. We can be like children, love users, where we depend on other people to support us, to care for us. And finally, there are love investors, people who bring the love capital to rehab and to rebuild our lives when we've been hit by tragedy, misfortune, or trauma. But in every economy, as you can see, there are indices and there are indicators. So I've been thinking, perhaps the love score is a number, that indicator, that represents how well a person, a group, or an organization has managed their giving and taking interactions over time. It allows us to evaluate how we have been in relation to ourselves and to others. And I think the bottom line is really to see how well we're doing. On the lower end of the love score, this would be in the places where we lead with the question, what's in it for me? Every time we come into a relationship. But there's another side that is more focused on leading with the question, how can I help? And I think that realization, the consciousness of the two spectrums of love, was a turning point for me. It brought the consciousness that I had to think about my love interactions in that give and take mindset. So if I compare that, I can ask myself, am I helping or making things worse in my relationships? Am I taking too much of myself, which would be the equivalent of being a love monopoly? Or am I letting other people do their own part? Now, to determine how that balance goes, I want to show you this little equation here. Let's assume and examine net love to look at each of our relationships for the difference between the giving and the taking. So giving would be the investment we make in our relationships, the sacrifice, the time, the effort, the service, the time you stay with the kids, the time you remember to bring in the bagels, the time you give that foot rub. Those are the investments in our love relationships. But every healthy relationship should be a give and take. So there's natural taking as well for the times when we need love for ourselves. And if we break it down, when giving is higher than taking, we're net givers. We contribute more to the relationship than we take out of it. When giving is the same as taking, it would mean there's a perfect equilibrium. But I should add that there's nothing perfect in the world except froyo, maybe. If you like frozen yogurt, I think that's perfect. So the other end would be when we ask ourselves, maybe giving is less than taking. We contributed less to the relationship than we needed from it. And this happens from time to time. That would be one relationship. The love score now takes it one step further to examine all of our relationships to see how we do over time. Let me break this down so we can think about it together. We take the relationships, each one, and then we add the duration of it, which is how much time we spent in the relationship. And that becomes the multiplier or the weight. And I'm in an academic institution, so I think you guys understand what I mean. And that then enables us to aggregate and begin to see the patterns and the consistent ways in which we behave in our relationships. And I've denoted that number of relationships here with the number N. Now, the giving and the taking is when it's sustained over time and there's more giving than taking, then we end up with a high score. But zero taking would also ding you because it could mean that we are not able to accept love or to be vulnerable with people around us. On the low end of the scale, a low score could mean we don't give much love. That would be the net love equation. Or we find it hard to commit. That would be the duration question. The closer we are to the high score, which is the 850 mark, the more it shows that we have been persistent over our relationships. There in the highs and the lows, there through thick and thin. And we have the stories to tell. But as with all things, how do we use it? Knowing our love score can dramatically change our relationship awareness and also the pairing. So now, as Joseph was saying, maybe leveraging AI we could find ourselves in a place where we can actually think about this scale and think about the giving and the taking that happens and look at the way we can eventually use this to evaluate how content we are, how satisfied we are, and how fulfilled we are in our relationships. In dating, the conversations could shift from, do we like the same movies, to can we build a partnership together? When we meet for the first time online, the love score could signal if we're a match and if we can make this and take what we have and cultivate a good relationship together. Because you can have good chemistry with somebody, but if they're net taker, that relationship may eventually drain your emotional bank account. And if you're a matchmaker, like the one I watch in Netflix, the matchmaking person, you would know 2 takers will quickly run out of love, and 2 givers may find themselves in a place where they don't know what to do with themselves as they fight over breakfast. Who's gonna make breakfast for who? I'm making your breakfast, you're making my breakfast, and then we have to figure that out. This giving and taking awareness can bring a progression in our lives, where we go from being self-absorbed people on the lower end of the scale to graduating to a place where we are supportive partners, to eventually being in a place where we are consistent givers who offset our own footprint. So we need more givers. Our society needs more givers. With the help of generative AI, I created this image of the 2 teddy bears doing the little cuddle because we need more givers. When we are low, going through the hardest parts of our lives, as students, as athletes, as workers, givers are the people that enable us to say, I know I don't have enough love for myself or for this situation I am going through, but I can take your love, your commitment, your belief, your trust, your confidence in me to see me through this difficult period of doubt or even depression. This is particularly important because some of us start out life with a love deficit. We were born with no love spoon in our mouth. This could be because there was a breakdown in family, society marginalized us, we went through abandonment, rejection, betrayal, or maybe even abuse. We start out our lives climbing out of a very deep hole. And it is tough. It's hard, because who will give me love when I think I don't qualify for it? And there's more. We need more love givers, because there are those who take and never give back. They take advantage of our innocence and our kindness. These love sharks are online, on dating apps, on social media, looking for prey. I was doing some research, and according to MSSP Alert, which is a cybersecurity news and research firm, love scams are highest on Valentine's Day, when people are most vulnerable and most open to connection. I find that very ironic. We must all become more love savvy. We need more givers to enable us have that cushion to take the shame and the disgrace. Givers, genuine givers, not the scammers, are our colleagues, our friends, our partners, our family, or even total strangers who show us charity. As Esther Perel, the famous psychotherapist, once said, we today want from one person what an entire village used to provide. I say more givers give us a forest and not just the shade of one tree. When love balances are high, we're able to handle setbacks, shame, and possibly disgrace. It's not exact science, really, but we feel it and we know it. We know when we feel loved, and we know when we do not feel loved. Our self-love and our love for others shows it. At work, at school, at home, or even at play. I remember the kids who didn't want to share their toys with me. Didn't feel really loved back then. So become a love leader today. A love leader is anyone, any organization that leads. In other words, they take the first step to bring love to all of us in our daily interactions. Love leaders are those who don't wait to be served, but serve other people. And they're careful to cater to themselves and to the people all around them. Let's create a network of support and love to rebuild our communities. Communities where we thrive because we have long-lasting, that's the duration, relationships with deep histories that give us the cushion to face life and life challenges. We all want to be loved. So don't take the love back seat. I ask you to let love lead the way. Thank you very much.